Have you ever woken up one day and felt like the fire inside you, the one that used to push you out of bed, ready to conquer the world, had just fizzled out? Maybe it was a rainy Tuesday, the kind where the clouds seemed to weigh on your soul, and you wondered, why am I even doing this? I've been there. Years ago, I sat at my desk staring at a half-finished project. My coffee had gone cold. I asked myself that very question. It wasn't laziness. It was something deeper. That day I realized I'd lost touch with my why, my motivation. That's what we're here to talk about today. What is motivation really? What keeps us going when the world feels heavy? Motivation isn't just a buzzword thrown around by life coaches or gym buffs. It's the heartbeat of everything we do. It's the whisper that says, keep going, when your legs ache on mile 5, or the spark that lights up when you dream of something bigger. Today, we're peeling back the layers of this mysterious force. We'll explore what it means, where it comes from, and how it shapes our lives in ways we don't always notice. By the end of this journey, you'll see motivation not as some elusive magic, but as a tool you can wield to build the life you want. Picture this. A man trudges through a storm. He's soaked to the bone but sneezing. Why? Because he's chasing something. A dream. A purpose. A reason. That's motivation in action. Here's the kicker. It's not always loud or flashy. Sometimes it's quiet and steady, like a river carving a canyon over centuries. So stick with me, as we dive into this. What drives you? What is your storm worth walking through? If you're curious to find out, and I bet you are, hit that like button right now and subscribe to the channel. Let's uncover this together step by step. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. So what is motivation? At its core, motivation is the reason behind why we act or don't act. It's the engine that powers our choices, from rolling out of bed to chasing a decade-long dream. Psychologists define it as the process that initiates, directs, and sustains effort toward achieving goals. Simple, right? But here's where it gets juicy. Not all motivation is created equal. There are two main flavors, intrinsic and extrinsic, and understanding them is like getting a cheat code to your own mind. Intrinsic motivation comes from within. It's the stuff that lights you up because it feels right. Think of a kid doodling for hours, not because someone's paying them, but because they love the scratch of pencil on paper. Or maybe it's you learning guitars because the chords hum in your bones. Studies, like those from psychologist Edward Dacey, show intrinsic motivation fuels long-term satisfaction. Why? Because it's tied to who you are, your passions, your values. It's not about impressing anyone. It's about feeding your soul. Extrinsic motivation, though, that's the outside push. It's the paycheck at the end of a grueling work week, the trophy after a race, or even your mom's proud smile when you ace a test. It's powerful. Don't get me wrong. Research from the University of Rochester says external rewards can kickstart action, especially when you're stuck. But here's the catch. It's fleeting. Once the reward's gone, so's the drive. Ever finished a task just for the applause, then felt empty after? That's extrinsic motivation waving goodbye. So why does this matter? Because knowing the difference helps you hack your life. Intrinsic keeps you steady when the rewards dry up. It's the marathon runner's grit. Extrinsic gets you moving when you're stalled, like a sprinter bolting for the finish line. Both have their place, but lean too hard on the outside stuff, and you might lose sight of your own fire. Think of it like this. Extrinsic is a matchstick, quick, bright, gone. Intrinsic is a slow-burning coal, warming you from the inside out. Next up, we'll weave this into stories from wise souls across history. Think Zen masters and Western icons. We'll see how they wrestled with these forces. But for now, chew on this. What's driving you today? Is it coming from within, or is something outside pulling the strings? Let's keep this rolling. Stay tuned. Imagine sitting by a flickering fire. The night is still. You're surrounded by voices from the past, wise souls who wrestled with the same questions we do today. What drives us? What keeps us moving when the path gets rough? Let's step into 3 stories from the East, from Zen masters, Lao Tzu, and Confucius. Each one's a mirror reflecting our own struggles with motivation. Each one's a lesson we can carry forward. Story 1. The Zen Monk and the Empty Bowl. Once there was a young monk named Kaito, living in a quiet Zen temple, nestled in the mountains of Japan. Kaito was eager. He wanted enlightenment, that shimmering prize all monks chased. Every day he'd rise before dawn, sweep the temple floors, meditate for hours, and study the sutras until his eyes burned. His master, an old man with a face like weathered stone, watched him silently. One morning, Kaito burst into the master's room. "I've been here a year," he said. "I work harder than anyone. I meditate longer. I study more. Why haven't I found peace?" The master smiled, a slow curl of his lips, and handed Kaito an empty bowl. "Go to the river," he said. "Fill this with water and bring it back without spilling a drop." Kaito nodded. He hurried to the river, a mile down the winding path. The sun was high, his robe stuck to his skin. But he didn't care. He dipped the bowl into the rushing water, filled it to the brim, and started back. Every step was agony. The bowl trembled in his hands. Water sloshed over the edges. By the time he reached the temple, it was half empty. Panting, he set it before the master. "I tried," he said. "The path was too rough." The master looked at the bowl, then at Kaito. "Try again," he said. Kaito's heart sank, but he obeyed. Day after day, he went to the river. Day after day, he returned with less water than he'd started with. His frustration grew. He'd see other monks laughing, tending the garden, seemingly carefree, while he trudged back and forth. "They're not even trying," he muttered. "Why am I the only one suffering?" Weeks passed. One evening, as the sun dipped below the peaks, Kaito sat by the river. He was tired. His hands shook less from effort now, and more from exhaustion. He filled the bowl, stood, and started walking. But this time something shifted. He stopped watching the water. He felt the cool air on his face, heard the rustle of leaves, the song of the current. His steps slowed. He wasn't rushing. For the first time he noticed the beauty around him, the way the world breathed with him. When he reached the temple, the bowl was still half full, but he didn't care. He set it down and looked at the master. The old man nodded. "What did you find?" he asked. Kaito paused. "The water wasn't the point," he said. "It was the walk. I kept chasing the full bowl, but I missed everything else." The master's eyes twinkled. "Enlightenment isn't a prize to win," he said. "It's in the steps you take when you stop looking for it." Kaito's story is about intrinsic motivation. He started with an external goal, enlightenment as a trophy, and it wore him down. The bowl was his paycheck, his applause. But when he let go, when he found joy in the journey itself, the walk became his fire. We're all Kaitos sometimes, chasing something out there, forgetting the quiet spark inside. True drive comes when we stop running for the finish line and start living the race. Story 2. Lao Tzu and the Farmer's Ox. In ancient China, under a sky wide and endless, lived a farmer named Wei. Wei had an ox, a stubborn beast that plowed his fields. One spring the ox grew lazy. It'd stand in the mud, chewing grass, refusing to fly. Wei tried everything. He'd shout, wave a stick, even offer extra grain. Nothing worked. The village whispered about Wei's misfortune. "He'll starve come winter," they said. "Why? One day an old wanderer passed through, his robes tattered, his beard white as snow. It was Lao Tzu, the sage of the Tao. Wei, desperate, begged for help. "My ox won't plow," he said. "I've tried threats, I've tried rewards, I'm ruined." Lao Tzu squinted at the ox, then at Wei. "Walk with me," he said. They strolled to the field. The ox stood there, massive and still. Lao Tzu sat on a rock and watched it. Hours passed. Wei fidgeted. "What are we doing?" he asked. Lao Tzu said nothing. Finally, as the sun dipped low, he stood, approached the ox, and whispered something Wei couldn't hear. Then he walked away. "Try now," he called over his shoulder. Wei grabbed the plow, half expecting failure. But the ox moved. Slowly at first, then with purpose, it pulled the plow through the earth. Wei laughed, tears in his eyes. The next day he found Lao Tzu by the river. "What did you say to it?" he asked. Lao Tzu smiled. "I told it the field is its home. It doesn't need a stick or grain. It just needs to remember why it's here." Wei thought about this. He'd always driven the ox with force or bribes. But Lao Tzu saw deeper. The ox wasn't lazy. It was lost. Wei started tending the fields differently after that. He'd talk to the ox, walk beside it, let it rest when the sun was too hot. The work got done, not because of a whip, but because they moved together. This is intrinsic motivation meeting extrinsic pressure. Wei relied on outside forces, sticks and grain, to push the ox. It's like us chasing deadlines for a bonus or dodging a scolding. It works until it doesn't. Lao Tzu flipped the script. He rekindled the ox's inner purpose, its connection to the field. For us, it's a reminder. External rewards can start the engine, but it's the inner why that keeps it running. What's your field? What's your ox? Story 3. Confucius and the Scholar's Test. In the time of Confucius, a young scholar named Liang dreamed of serving the emperor. To do that, he had to pass the imperial exams, a grueling test that could lift a peasant to nobility. Liang was bright. He studied day and night, memorizing classics, writing essays until his fingers cramped. His family pinned their hopes on him. "You'll bring us honor," his father said. Eyes gleaming, the exam day came. Liang sat among hundreds, ink staining his hands, the air thick with tension. He wrote furiously, fueled by the promise of a title, a robe of silk, his name in the emperor's court. He passed. The village cheered. His father wept. Liang was given a post in the capital. He'd done it. But months later, something gnawed at him. The work was endless, copying decrees, bowing to officials who cared little for wisdom. He'd study late into the night, not for love of learning, but to keep his position. One evening, he slipped away to a temple where Confucius taught. The old master sat surrounded by students, his voice calm as a stream. Liang bowed. "I passed the exams," he said. "I serve the emperor. But I feel empty." "Why?" Confucius looked at him, eyes sharp. "What drove you to the test?" he asked. Liang hesitated. "My family's pride, a better life, honor." Confucius nodded. "And now?" Liang sighed. "It's gone. I'm a scribe, not a scholar." Confucius stood. "Come," he said. He led Liang to a garden where a boy played with a wooden top, spinning it again and again, laughing. "Why does he spin it?" Confucius asked. "For fun," Liang said. "No one's watching." Confucius smiled. "Learning is like that top. Do it for the joy of it, and it spins forever. Do it for others, and it wobbles." Liang returned to his post, but he changed. He'd steal hours to read for himself, not for the court. He wrote poems, not decrees. His heart grew lighter. Years later, he left the capital, teaching children in his village. "I found my top," he told them. Liang chased extrinsic motivation. honor and status, and it carried him far. But it burned out. Confucius showed him the power of intrinsic drive, learning for its own sake. We all have our exams, our titles we chase. They're not wrong. They just can't be everything. Find your top, the thing that spins for you alone. That's where the real fire lives. So we've walked with Kaito along the river, felt the ox's steady pull with Wei, and spun the top with Liang. We've seen how motivation isn't just a switch you flip. It's a dance between what's inside you and what's pulling from the outside. But here's the real question. How do you take this and make it work for you? How do you find your fire? Keep it burning. Use it to shape your days. Let's break it down with some tools, habits, and mindsets you can start using right now. This isn't theory anymore. This is the dirt under your nails, the sweat on your brow, the stuff that sticks. First things first, you've got to figure out what drives you. Kaito chased enlightenment until he found peace in the walk. Wei pushed his ox until he saw its purpose. Liang studied for honor until he learned for joy. What's your version of that? Is it a job you're grinding for a paycheck? A workout you dread but do for the likes on Instagram? Or maybe something quieter, a hobby you've shelved because it doesn't pay off? This is where you start digging. Grab a notebook. Write down something you're working on, big or small. Maybe it's, I want to finish this project at work. Now ask, why? Keep asking why, 5 times, peeling back the layers. Let's say it goes like this. To get it done. Why? So my boss is happy. Why? So I don't get fired. Why? So I can pay my bills. Why? So I can live a life I enjoy. Boom. There's your coal, glowing at the bottom. It's not the project or the boss. It's the life you want. That's intrinsic. If you stop at, so my boss is happy, you're stuck in extrinsic quicksand. Do this for anything. Your gym routine, your side hustle, even why you scroll social media. Find the root. Take 5 minutes when you wake up. No phone, just you and your thoughts. Ask, what's one thing I'm doing today for me? Not for the paycheck, not for the applause, but for the quiet hum in your chest. Maybe it's sketching, cooking a meal you love, or reading a book that pulls you in. Write it down. Do it. Kaito found his walk by slowing down. You'll find yours by listening. Kaito obsessed over perfection, a brimming bowl, and it broke him. You might be doing the same, chasing a flawless day, a perfect goal. Flip it. Aim for half full. Show up, do the work, but don't beat yourself up if it's not a masterpiece. The point isn't the water. It's the steps. Start small. If it's writing, scribble a sentence. If it's running, jog a block. Half full today beats empty tomorrow. Life isn't all intrinsic bliss. Wei's ox needed a nudge. Liang's exam got him through the door. Extrinsic motivation, the outside push, has its place. The trick is balance. Use it to start, but don't let it own you. Here's how. Pick a goal you are dragging your feet on, like cleaning your garage or finishing a report. Set an extrinsic kickstart, something simple. If I do this, I'll grab a coffee I love. Do it. But here's the twist. While you're working, notice one thing you enjoy about it. Maybe the garage looks sharper as you go, or the report's data clicks in your head. That's your anchor, the intrinsic thread. Next time, lean on that instead of the coffee. The reward gets you moving. The anchor keeps you there. Set a timer for 25 minutes, the Pomodoro trick. Tell yourself, I'll push through this for 25. Then I'm free. The deadline's the stick, the break's the carrot. But during those minutes, hunt for the intrinsic. Maybe you're coding and a bug finally cracks, Or you're studying and a concept lights up. Log it in your mind. Over time, you'll crave those moments more than the break. Ways sucks moved when it felt at home, not when it was bribed. When you're slogging through something for a reward, shift your eyes. What's the bigger picture? If it's a job you hate, is it funding a dream? If it's a chore, is it building a space you love? The extrinsic push, the stick or grain, is just the spark. The field, your why, is the fuel. Train yourself to see it. Motivation isn't a one-time fix. It's a river you keep flowing. Here's how to make it a habit, a rhythm that carries you even when the days get heavy. Pick something you want to stick with, like exercising or journaling. Pair it with a trigger you already do. Brush your teeth. Do 5 push-ups after. Make tea. Write 1 sentence while it steeps. Kaito's walk became his peace because it was daily. Start tiny. 1 push-up, 1 line. The trigger hooks it to your life. The tininess keeps it easy. In a month, it's not a task. It's you. Every Sunday, sit down for 10 minutes. List 3 things you did that week that felt good. Not for anyone else, but for you. Maybe you cooked a killer meal, ran farther than last time, or just sat quietly with a book. Then pick one for next week. Not a huge goal, just a win. I'll cook again. Liang found his top by small joys. You'll find yours the same way. Stack these wins. Watch your fire grow. Confucius knew the top wobbles when it's forced. You will too. Some days you'll skip the push-ups, forget the sentence. That's not failure. That's life. When it happens, don't spiral. Say, okay, it wobbled. I'll spin it again tomorrow. Guilt kills motivation. Grace keeps it alive. The rhythm isn't perfection. It's showing up. Once a week, stand in front of a mirror. Look yourself in the eye. Say, you're enough. You're moving. Keep going. Sounds cheesy? Maybe. But it works. It's you talking to you, stoking that inner coal. No one else needs to hear it. Kaito didn't need the master's praise. Wei didn't need the village's cheers. Liang didn't need the emperor's nod. You don't either. This is your field, your walk, your top. These steps aren't magic wands. They are shovels, seeds, a bit of sunlight. You've got to dig, plant, and tend. But here's the truth. You're not starting from zero. You've got a spark already, flickering under the noise of life. These tools just fan it. Start today. One thing from this. The 5 whys. A tiny trigger, a half-full bowl. Try it. See what shifts. You're not chasing enlightenment, or plowing a field, or passing an exam. You're building you. And that's worth every step. We've been on quite a journey, haven't we? We started with that rainy Tuesday, the cold coffee, the question, why am I doing this? We peeled back what motivation really is, that dance between the fire inside and the push from outside. We walked with Kaito, plowed with Wei, spun with Liang, and pulled their wisdom into tools you can hold. Now it's time to land this plane. Not with some vague pep talk, but with real advice you can use today, tomorrow, next week. And then I'll ask you to do something. Because this isn't just a story. It's a spark for your story. You don't need a grand plan or a perfect moment. Kaito didn't wait for enlightenment to show up gift-wrapped. He walked. Right now, wherever you are, there is something you can do. Feeling stuck at work? Write down one why that's yours, not your boss's. Tired of the same old routine? Pick a tiny trigger. 5 push-ups after brushing your teeth. Don't overthink it. Start where your feet are. 1 step today beats a dream about tomorrow. You've got the 5 whys, the half-full bowl mindset. Use them. The smallest move forward is still forward. Extrinsic stuff. The paycheck. The praise. It's a matchstick. It flares bright, then fades. Intrinsic. Your coal burns slow and steady. Feed it. Every day, give yourself one thing that's just for you. Not for Instagram, not for a gold star. Maybe it's 10 minutes with a guitar, a walk where you actually look at the trees, a journal entry no one reads. Liang found his top when he stopped chasing the emperor's nod. You'll find yours when you stop chasing everyone else's. Ask, what lights me up even a little? Do that. Protect that flame. You're going to wobble. The top will fall. The ox will stall. The bowl will spill. That's not the end. It's the middle. When it happens, don't kick yourself. Wei didn't curse the ox forever. He walked beside Isones. Give yourself the same grace. Missed a day? Okay, spin it again tomorrow. Fell off your habit? Start tiny again. Guilt's a thief stealing your drive. Grace is a friend, handing it back. Say it out loud if you need to. I'm enough, I'm moving. Keep the rhythm, not the perfection. Every week, do that weekly wins thing. Look back. 3 things that felt good. Not for the world, but for you. It's not bragging. It's fuel. Kaido didn't see his growth until he stopped chasing the bowl. You won't either unless you pause. Maybe you laughed hard with a friend, finished a task you dreaded, or just sat still for once. Write them down. Pick one to carry forward. It's proof your fire's alive, even when it feels dim. Stack those wins. They're your stepping stones. Here's the truth. Motivation isn't a gift someone hands you. It's a garden you grow. We've talked about the seeds, intrinsic and extrinsic, the dirt of stories, the water of tools. But you're the gardener. I can't plant it for you. I can't make the ox move or the top spin. That's on you. And I know it's scary. Life's loud, messy, full of storms like that man trudging through the rain. But you've got something he had too. A reason to smile through it. Find it. Tend it. Start today. So here's what I'm asking. Take one thing from this. Anything. The 5 whys. A tiny trigger. A mirror talk. Try it for a week. See what shifts. Then come back here. Drop a comment and tell me what happened. Did your bowl spill, but you kept walking? Did your top wobble, but you spun it again? I want to hear it. Hit that like button if this hit you somewhere deep. Subscribe if you're in for more, because we're not done yet. Next time we'll dig into something new. Another piece of this puzzle called you. You're not alone in this. We're all figuring it out, step by step, field by field. I've been that guy with the cold coffee, lost in the why. I've found my way. Not all of it, but enough to keep going. You will too. So go spin your top, plow your field, walk your path. It's yours, and it's worth it. See you in the next one.